I know you have a Switch, so that'll let you go ahead and take off on that. All righty, here we go. It is Craig's Corner, and I believe this is episode 19. So, yeah, I can't believe there's been 19 episodes of this. But I am here. We're here to do some predictions, and I'm going to read off the E3 schedule, and I am here with the god of PlayStation on this beautiful Memorial Day. Go ahead and shout yourself out, Kratos.
Hey, everybody. It's your boy, J-Dub, a.k.a. Kratos, the god of PlayStation. I want you guys to know to make sure you kiss your loved ones, yes. Enjoy them on this beautiful day, and just spend some time with them, and just try to make this a very fun day for you.
Yeah, and all the swimming pools are open, at least here in Kentucky. So everybody shout out my voice. Go to your local pool. Go out there. I'm looking over there now. Let me tell you something. The homage looks pretty good over there. I know what I'm doing when I'm done with this. I had to take my big green cup. But it is, like I said, Craig Harris, the black man in the green chair. My green cup is in the refrigerator. And joined here by Kratos on this holiday. And he is right. Why we're here is we're going to talk a little bit about E3, have some fun with that, our own predictions, so to speak. Because I don't know his work schedule. He may not. He doesn't know mine. But Kratos, for all you all know, donated this is the GPU. Am I saying that right? For the PC build. Yeah. So this is the man that did that. So I will always give him a shout out on that. And you all need to go and sub to his channel because he's up and coming. And of course, he's the god of PlayStation. So he oversees all. So I do appreciate you doing that, brother. So I didn't realize that thing was that big. I don't know why I thought a GPU was small. I keep thinking of it as a CPU. So but yeah, much bigger than I thought it was going to be. But I do appreciate it, brother. And shout out to you folks listening. We're gonna talk about E3. We're doing predictions, and I've got the schedule pulled up on another window, and I'll be able to read that off. Now mine is from IGN. They're going to do the pre E3 shows. They do not have any of that listed. So, but we'll go ahead and let me go ahead and read the list off for you here, Kratos, and anybody else. This is from IGN this today, but of course, I'm a little bit behind, and it was Sunday for crying out loud, I believe. But the first conference, these are all. I'm gonna convert these all to Eastern Standard Time. Shout out to everybody in the chat. The EA's conference is first. It is Saturday, June 10th at noon Eastern Standard Time, noon Pacific Time. So this is everybody get your popcorn ready. At EA, you should see Madden. You should see, which will probably be running on the Scorpio because Microsoft does have rights. I believe. Hopefully, because there's been some changes lately that with FIFA and stuff like that has been going over to Sony. So right now we don't know what the hell is going on. Hopefully, you're right about that. Yeah, that broke late yesterday evening. Yeah, about the FIFA thing. That really threw me because I do know there's crossplay overseas, and the Sony team absolutely destroyed the Xbox team on that game. So, and I'm like, well, maybe that has something to do with it. Exactly. Could be, man. Could be. Our Cloud, because he said, hey, they went where the money was. So you can't really, that makes sense. So that's cool. That's cool. All right, so your next big one. So after EA, of course, everybody's going to dissect that. It's Saturday night. EA, you should see Star Wars Battlefront. You will see that running on the PlayStation Pro. They should have gameplay. That's why when people were saying, well, the only place to be seen is on the PlayStation stage, I'm like, no, not if EA. Not if EA has its own press conference. They will show that game. So exactly. You'll get a little more gameplay down the road. But moving on, Sunday, that's all we got for Saturday right now. Somebody else could move into these slots. But Sunday, of course, the big one is Microsoft. That is 2 p.m. Pacific time and 5 p.m. Eastern time. So right before that market starts opening overseas, Microsoft gets their thing out. So very smart by them. What do you think about that, Jay? What about that time slot? It's a Sunday.
Hey, Psycho, how's it going? We hear you, man.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, what's happening, brother? Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for the invite.
Yeah, I think that's great strategy, man. They need to distance themselves more than a couple of hours away from Sony's press conference. I think last year, after that was delivered, after that juggernaut of a conference was delivered by Sony, that didn't give Microsoft enough time to let it process of in people's head the Gears of War and all the other stuff that was coming. And so I think this will give people a whole day to kind of reflect and think on it, sleep on it, and see what they think about the Scorpio and the games that they're delivering before Sony comes out the next day and make a big hoopla about that.
Yeah. Well, what's going on, Cycle? You back from was it Shanghai?
Yeah, I was in Shanghai. I'm trying to cool down right now because I just made a rant video. I'm trying to cool down a little bit.
Hey, we're
go ahead and shout yourself out real quick to my small but fierce listening audience. Go ahead and give yourself a shout out, bro.
Oh, and this is Cycle Gamer coming in from overseas, and I'm glad to be on. And let's talk about these games and talk about E3.
All righty. Well, yeah, this is the E3 prediction show, and so nobody can be right or wrong here. So we just want to have a little fun with it. And right now, we're just running down the schedule. We just talked about EA's. EA's going first. They're Saturday at Pacific time, and it's just I'm
sorry, you biting out a little bit, man.
Microsoft and Cycle.
I can't hear you. What you say?
I said EA's press conference is first.
Yep.
On Saturday, and then we got the Microsoft Sunday, June 11th at 2 p.m. and 5 o'clock Eastern time. What do you think about Microsoft's time slot?
I think it's good for them. And it's on Sunday, right?
Yeah.
It's on Sunday. Yeah, I think it's good because it's on a weekend. I think more eyeballs would be on it on a Sunday. I don't know. I just think it's a good move for them. I didn't know that they can do that. I didn't know that they can move their dates back or whatever. I thought somebody else made the dates and that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's really good for them. Like I said, because you got more eyeballs on them, and then it leaves a day before Sony's conference. So.
All right, Bethesda, they've got them at 7 p.m. That's 10 o'clock Eastern. This one has 2 stars next to it because it said it could be moved. Now, Pete Hines of the lead guy at Bethesda, same time, same place, same back conference, whatever you want to call it. But man, 10 o'clock Eastern time. This is me personally. I think this is a bad slot for them. They have got to get this slot. They got to have it at 9 o'clock because I understand we want to give Microsoft. This is June. This is still June 11th. So they're coming right behind Microsoft, which is only supposed to be there till like 3:45. And they've got an extended room for people to go into. But KRATO'S real fast. This is Sunday, by the way, still. Basically 10 o'clock at night here on the East Coast for us East Coast folks on Eastern Standard Time. So what do you think about Bethesda's time slot, and what games are you expecting them to announce?
Well, you have to keep it in mind now. This E3 event is taking place on the West Coast over in LA. So everything is basically, catered towards the Pacific time frame. Obviously, it's going to be late for you guys, but I don't think that's going to be a big deal. I mean, this is kind of like the Super Bowl of gaming. So it doesn't matter if it's 1 o'clock in the morning. There's going to be millions of people tuning in to watch. In the games by Bethesda, oh man, well, I don't know, man. They've always kind of did their own thing. I'm looking for something new. I know we're probably going to get a rehash of maybe the Elder Scrolls series or something like that, but I mean, we'll see. I don't know. I'm hoping for one new game that's not, just a redo of the previous games. I'm looking for something totally new.
You Cycle. What about that time slot for us East Coast guys?
You said 10 p.m. East Coast?
Yeah.
East, 7 p.m. Pacific. So yeah, adding that 3 hours. Now they can move it. Let me make this clear. It does say down here that they haven't confirmed their time yet, but Pete Hines, he's the main man over there. And he said it will be the same time and day as usual. So, but what do you think about that time, East Coast time?
I don't know, man. I feel like people that want to watch it are going to watch it, but I don't think it's a great time. I think the prime time is about 7 o'clock. That's prime time, which will be prime for people in the West. But East Coast is kind of tough. And as far as the games are concerned, I don't know. I think they're just going to. I mean, it's hard to predict stuff like this. I think it's going to be a lot of DLC. They may show some teasers for some games, but I can't think of any big game that's coming out for them unless it's something new.
I'm hoping for an Oblivion remaster.
Mm-hmm.
Got my fingers crossed for you. You give me that. That way I can do. Maybe I agree. DLC maybe for Fallout, or maybe they remaster Fallout 3, which is arguably considered one of the best games of all time. So at least to me, it was. My God, I love that game. I bought all the DLC. It was just killing people on that game.
Hey, real quick, Kratos. Is Craig botting out on you a little bit? Or is
he is. That's his connection.
Okay, cool.
Oh no,
his gets like that from time to time.
Okay, I thought it was me. Okay, I was gonna hop out and come back in, but it's all good. Okay, cool.
Oh man, yeah. Hopefully that'll correct itself.
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay. Yeah.
I did not.
I'm hoping for. I know for a fact they're gonna show Fallout 4 with the VR. You're gonna be able to play it on the Oculus and the PlayStation VR in VR. So you're gonna be first person, and they're saying it's the definitive way to play any game. So I'm looking to see that. I can't wait for that to. Can you imagine going through the world and Fallout in VR?
That would be great.
Oh man, that's I can't wait for that. Hopefully it's not just a gimmick. Hopefully it's the real deal. But if it's somebody that can pull it off, it would be them.
That would be something else. Those death claws in VR. that's almost that's what I'm talking about. All right, moving on. Gaming show, which I'm going to actually have to try to watch or follow. So that's Monday, June 12th. That we're moving into Monday, guys. June 12th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. So that's right after breakfast. And of course, that'll be 2 o'clock Eastern time. But Kratos, you're a PC guy. I'm trying to move into it. What should we be looking for in that?
Well, I'll tell you what. There's going to be a ton of new graphics cards, lined up for the PC gamers to buy. One thing about PC is there's so many games by so many companies that you don't even know. It's ridiculous. So it's kind of on that standpoint, it's really kind of hard to determine what PC game is going to come out. But I know.
Okay. But we potentially get the Vega Horizon thing. Will this be it? This the conference finally?
This is it, man. This is the last of the Mohicans. So this is when all the companies come out with any and everything that the consumer is going to buy. This is where they display it at. So I'm looking forward to the Project Cars 2 being demoed. I'm looking forward to what else? There's going to be tons of shooters. I can tell you that much, and a ton of VR content. So I'm looking from a VR standpoint. I'm looking for E3 for that particular show for the PC.
All righty. Now, have you heard anything about the AMD? Is it the 580 out now on market?
Yeah, it's again, keep in mind it's literally the same chip as the 480. It's just a little bit overclocked, more power efficiency, but it's okay. It's a lower level card, so it's not high end whatsoever. But it's the minimum card that you need for VR.
Okay, I was gonna say, can it do VR? All right, Cycle. You don't PC game, I know. Was there anything you would look forward to in that? Are you that's your going to be your that's your getting up, eating bacon, egg, and cheese biscuits time, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't think I'm going to watch the PC show. Like you said, I don't really game on PC. But if I had to guess, I think it's going to be a lot of hardware. They're going to talk about a bunch of graphics cards and chips and all that kind of stuff, and what you can do with certain hardware. That's what I think. If I had to guess on it, I don't think there's going to be too many game reveals on the PC show.
Well, I tell you what, they better show something with Star Citizen.
Man, that's the that's the one game I wanted to get a PC for. That's the one. Seriously, it was VR and this was before we heard about Scorpio, but it was VR and Star Citizen, man.
Yeah,
I wanted to grab a PC for that.
Yeah.
But I don't know what's taking it so long. I don't know what's going on with that game now, man.
I'm gonna tell you why, man. For one, it's crowdsourced, so it's not like a major company.
But they've been getting a lot of money though. They've been getting a lot of money. Did you see they just? I think they got what 250. Either I'm mistaken. Either it's 150 or 250 million dollars. Wow.
Of what they've spent so far and what they've raised. I don't know, man. And honestly, I think because they raised that amount of money, they wouldn't want a company like EA or something like that to come in and take over production and help them out.
I would be pissed if I contributed.
Yeah, so I think they have a team, but to be fair though, they have delivered something. It's just not the complete package, and it's not the bread and butter of what you're looking forward to. So. Right. It is what it is.
That game lit my eyes up, man. I'm like, God damn, this is amazing.
I honestly think that game. I honestly think that game is too ambitious for our time and what they're trying to do, and the time that we have to dedicate to it. The game probably won't be completed for another 3-4 years, man. I mean, honestly.
Oh, don't say that.
I'm just being a realist. With the stuff that I'm trying to do.
I know. God. You're probably right. I'm hoping against hope. I know. All right, well, moving on. This is still Monday, June 12th, everybody. So at 1 p.m., so just right after lunch, Ubisoft is up. I don't have the IGN pre-show ready. That's just to be TBA, to be announced. But 1 p.m. Pacific time, we're at 4 o'clock East Coast, so it's happy hour. Go ahead, Psycho, I'll start with you on this one. This is Ubisoft, so what is your prediction for Ubisoft? Now, if we're gonna see, brother, go ahead. This is Ubisoft, so yeah, the creators of Far Cry, Cell.
Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna see. I think that's what we're gonna see. Some Far Cry, some Watch Dogs DLC. I know Ubisoft is like always throw something wild out there, and so I think they're gonna come out with some kind of VR game or augmented reality game or something like that. I think that's what they're gonna do, because if you think about it, Ubisoft has always jumped on that kind of stuff, like with the Kinect, and I don't know if they did anything with the Move or anything like that, but they always do some wild shit. So I think they're going to do that, come out with some, talk about Far Cry or whatever, and come out with some Watch Dogs DLC. They may come out with another game, big AAA game. I think they're going to talk about Assassin's Creed as well.
Right.
And then they're going to have some kind of new game, I think. And then I think they're going to also talk about VR and talk about how Ubisoft is going to jump on that wave. That's what I think.
All right, Kratos, how about you? This is Ubisoft, so yeah, Psycho made some good points there. So what are you predicting? And they're right after lunch, so everybody's lunch should be settling. So if it's a shitty press conference, they're gonna have some vomit on the floor, I guess. I don't know. So
I can tell you they're gonna come out with another damn Just Dance game. So that's a for sure shot. They bring those things out every year. I'm actually looking for a new Rainbow Six Vegas type game. Rainbow Six Vegas style game, maybe Vegas 3 or Vegas 4 or whatever they're gonna call it. I love Tom Clancy's games, and Ubisoft has been really good with delivering those games. What else about Ubisoft? I know Assassin's Creed, like Psycho said, those are a given. I don't know what because it haven't leaked. This year is one of the first years, man, there hasn't been much information that leaked. Have you guys noticed that? Generally,
I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
Yeah, the previous years, man. I mean, we knew half the lineup already for both sides. Even Microsoft is tight-lipped. I mean, we just literally don't know what the hell to expect. Sony, I mean, obviously we kind of know what they have from previous, but we just don't know, and that's the point of it. I don't know what to expect from Ubisoft or anybody else for that matter of what's new that we don't already know.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I would love to see a Splinter Cell. Well, Splinter Cell, yeah, that's especially if Michael Ironside walks out on stage and announces it. I think that would be really cool. Cycle, let me ask you: do you think we see Assassin's Creed? And you said, now, do you think we see it running on Scorpio? Do you think we see it running on the Scorpio?
Do we see what running on Scorpio? I'm sorry.
Creed.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think everything that's being shown at these conferences are either going to be PC, PlayStation Pro, or the Scorpio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good point. Well, moving on. Of course, the big one that night. This is Monday. This is 9 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Western time, right after dinner.
Dun, dun, dun.
Sony. Yeah, Sony's coming in. That's late. I mean, for me, 9 o'clock. That sucks, especially if they go the full 2 hours. And they talking about maybe spilling over. So
not really. That's a perfect time because you want everybody fed, the kids in bed, and everything. Now it's the grown folks' time.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, but
no distraction.
We'll definitely get into we'll definitely get into what more and more what they're going to do at their press conference. I anticipate a lot of VR if it's not gobbled up at the other pro. I do agree with you, both you guys, about Ubi and Bethesda with the VR stuff. I think you're going to see a lot of that for both consoles. So because everybody's forgetting Scorpio will do VR too.
Yeah,
about it a whole lot because they don't have a first party headset, but maybe they announced that. Who knows? I mean, it'd be cool. So, all right, moving on. There's something called Devolver Digital. This before. I don't know what this company does. I can't pull anything up on them.
Yeah, I heard of that.
We might have more viewers in this podcast than they will their whole show.
Exactly.
Well, shout out to the people watching. I've not really been able to get over there, but whoever's there, appreciate you joining us on this.
Hit the like button, y'all.
Hit the like button. Stuff. So
okay, so Craig, the Devolver Digital, man, they're based out of Austin, Texas. I'm in Houston, Texas. So shout out to Devolver. But they're known for the Serious Sam and the Hotline Miami series. If you guys are familiar with those,
heard of those?
Yeah.
I wish them. If they're having an E3, they gonna be coming with something. And then that's all of Monday. We'll be able to digest after that. Then pulling up the rear are our good friends over there in Japan, the Nintendo, which is a tentative. And they don't even. I just lost my page for some reason. Other thing, but Nintendo is coming in on, I believe, Tuesday. They are doing theirs on a Tuesday, and we'll get more into what we would like to see. I know what I would like to see from them announce. They could just announce one game for me that I will go out and I'll buy a Switch. I'll do whatever. I'll sell a kidney, whatever I got to do. So, I know what I would like to see. But, but let's get back into offers are going to be. We'll start off with Microsoft. They're batting lead off Sunday. So, Cycle, we'll go ahead and mute our mics because you said you were pissed off about something. So we're gonna go ahead and have the floor, and I'll go ahead and mute and just go ahead and take off, brother. I don't know what happened. I don't know, was it they didn't love you long time over there in Shanghai? What happened?
I was in a good mood, man. I was in a really good mood. I was just getting ready to make a video about the Switch too. Because I took the Switch with me overseas. And it's a great console, man. It's awesome, especially for somebody that travels a lot. But we can talk about that later. But
yeah, we'll get go ahead and take off, brother. Let's go ahead, and I know you so go ahead and take off. I'm gonna mute right now.
All right, so I get up and I'm going through a little bit of jet lag, but I'm like, let me check and see what's going on in the gaming community. Let's look at some news or whatever. So I'm looking at some articles and stuff like that, and I come across this article that's talking about the Xbox. At E3 this year, Xbox should have invested in more games and not the Scorpio. And for me, like, it triggered me. I'm not gonna lie, it triggered me, and I'm not gonna like it triggered me for this reason, man. It pisses me off, man, because it's like Microsoft is doing what they think the community asked for. You know what I'm saying? Or what I would say what the community was saying that they wanted in the beginning of this generation.
Yeah. And
you guys are free to disagree if you want to, but it's like when it came out, I feel like all they talked about was resolution. You know what I'm saying? And I know the price was a key factor as well, but that was for like 4 or 5 months. You know what I'm saying? The reason why the Xbox didn't sell as well, or the reason why Sony sold so much. But I feel like for 2 years, Microsoft was hitting us with bangers. They were coming out with exclusive after exclusive after exclusive, and nobody was saying, Sony, where's your games? Nobody was saying it's not about power. Nobody was saying that it's not about resolution. We should be talking about games. Nobody was saying this. Now, all of a sudden, I'm seeing all these videos. I'm seeing, all these YouTube videos, all these articles where people talking about Microsoft shouldn't be talking about the Scorpio. They should be talking about games. I hope they're not talking about the Scorpio the whole, at E3, they should be talking about games. They should be doing this about games. But nobody gave a fuck about that in the first 2 years. Like, it's just frustrating to me that, and this is just my opinion. I feel like the community and the gaming media is like swaying to whatever Sony is doing. Like, Sony was talking about indies and resolution for the first 2 years, and that's all you saw in the gaming media, and everybody was talking about it's the indies. Microsoft doesn't care about indie developers and this and that, and resolution this and resolution that. And now Sony doesn't talk about indies anymore, and they don't talk about power anymore. Now everybody's talking about, it's not about resolution and it's not about power, and nobody's talking about indies now. Yeah. It's like, why is shit swinging like that? And it just frustrates me as a gamer. Yeah. Not as an Xbox fan, not as a Sony fan, not as a Nintendo fan. As a gamer, it upsets me that, and I'm glad we're talking about games right now. But it just upsets me that we weren't talking about games then. Yeah.
I hear you. And let me have a little crack or a reply of what you're saying. Yes, you're right. That first year, when Microsoft got off to a rocky start, they did come out with the games. They came out with a lot of games, and they just got overshadowed with the negative publicity regarding the Kinect and regarding the price and stuff like that. To tell you the truth, until Digital Foundry came out with the whole 1.86 teraflops versus was it 1.3 teraflops, 1.3 like that. Nobody knew what a teraflop was.
Right.
So I still don't know what it is.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, nobody cared and nobody knew. But to be fair, Cycle, Microsoft has not made it any easier on themselves. Now, yes, there is some small, media people that prefer the PlayStation platform. You're gonna always have that, but Microsoft has did a lot of damage themselves. Even right now, the fan base does not know the messaging and what Microsoft wants to do and what they want to be. We don't know if they want to be just a service company selling us services. We don't know if they want to be a hardware company providing hardware. We don't know, we don't know what they want to be. They change at the drop of a hat. And that's part of the problem. They're listening to the fan base and they're listening to the wrong people.
My thing is, why do we even care about what they want to be? I hear this a lot. In sports as well. Like, this team needs an identity. This team or whatever, or Microsoft needs an identity. We know what they're doing. Like, I just want my team to win. I don't care about their identity. And I just want these consoles to provide me with games. I don't care about Microsoft's identity and all that kind of shit.
It's a correlation, and let me tell you why. It's all about when you spend $500 on something, that's an investment. You're investing into something. When you buy a brand new iPhone, into the Apple ecosystem, knowing that that phone and that product is going to be supported and here for you and for the next years, for the foreseeable future. Invest $500 into an Xbox One or a Scorpio, you're buying into that ecosystem, saying that you're going to provide me with ample amount of games and a big, diverse array of software to play on this thing. And so if I don't have the confidence in that, I'm not going to buy that product because I just don't know. People are not as dumb as you think they are. They're not. Yeah. There's a lot of dumb people out there, but there are a lot of dumb people out there. But you know, like everyone says, man, gaming is a selfish hobby, and it's not about everybody else. It's about me and what I want out of this company and what I want out of my product. If I'm just if I'm a gamer and I only play sports, I could care less about RPGs and action games. I only care about sports, so I'm selfish. People like that. I don't know if you knew or not, but all these games that Microsoft delivered for the Xbox One, nobody bought them. They didn't support them at the rate that they should have. Therefore, you're not getting sequels. So it's a cause and effect. Some of it you can blame on the fan base. Others you can blame on Microsoft. They didn't instill the confidence in knowing that there's a bright future. They kept changing. They kept cutting prices. They kept moving from this, and now they remove all these other features that originally they boasted about, and now they're talking about this. They changed the name from Beam to what is it?
Mixer.
Some other, yeah, Mixer. Some, like, as a gamer, most gamers do not care about that stuff. They just want to see their games on the platform, and exclusives really matter. It really does. So hopefully come E3, we see Microsoft again backtrack on the whole no exclusive type things and deliver console exclusives.
I think that Microsoft wants to provide. Like people are confused about whatever. I don't understand why they're confused. Microsoft as a company wants to provide everything that they've done since day one. All right, since the console launch has been
a reaction. It's been a reaction.
That's the thing. It doesn't. For me, it doesn't matter what it is. If it's a reaction or an action, you know what I'm saying? Is as long as these things are being done. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't sit back and say, oh, the only reason why Microsoft did this is because of the sales. What matters to me is that they did it, not why they did it. That's just the way I feel about it. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you, and I understand that. You just want the end result. You don't care about what it took to get there.
I just want the end result. Like I really don't care about all the extra stuff. Like I don't like being political when it comes to gaming. Like something that's supposed to be fun.
Yeah.
Like I make videos and stuff like that, but I don't like to do that. I really just want to talk about how fun this is. And that's the thing too. That's kind of what got me started on YouTube. And I don't want to go on another rant, but it's just like I was excited for what Microsoft was delivering. Yeah. And so I got on YouTube to see what everybody else was thinking if we wanted to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? All I saw was Microsoft is trying to kill this, and Microsoft is trying to kill gaming and this and that. I'm just like, this is something different, y'all. This is something different and unique. Like I didn't want two of the same devices in my house. I didn't want, because I knew I was going to buy them day one anyway. Because I'm a gamer and I like video games, and so I wanted some different devices in my place. And so I was going to buy Sony for what they have, and I was going to buy Microsoft and try what they was going to deliver, and Nintendo the same thing. Yeah. So I was excited about it. I want to be excited for gaming. I don't like being pissed off and all this kind of shit. And I just felt like and Microsoft, and to their credit, Microsoft, like you said, did a lot of this to themselves.
Yeah. Well, let me add
by not being clear with it.
Let me add real quick. Well, we have a guest from the chat, Mr. Savage. Is it Savage Yuger or Yoger?
Yoger.
Yoger, okay. So he is from the chat. He always comes in. He'll listen to this podcast, and he'll listen to. I see him on the Greatness podcast and that little window talking or chatting. So big shout out to you. But let me add real fast, Cycle. The first article that came out about any power difference at the beginning of the generation actually came out in August. It was by WCC Tech. And all it said was the PlayStation has a little more power, and if developers choose to with multi-plat games, the games would run and look a little bit better. but it was a throwaway line. It literally was just part of a giant tech coming. I think the first thing that everybody's got to understand is the price point. The price point is what gets people even to look at a budget. I mean, you know this, you're a businessman, to even look at a budget to see if they can afford it. And if you walk into a store and they say, what's the difference between a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox One? They both play games. They both played movies, Blu-ray movies, but then you get into the familiarity of what is Microsoft's record with Blu-ray? None, because it was the first time they had one in their system. And so Sony, since they helped invent Blu-ray, I'm not going to go down that road again with people, but since Sony is on the board with the Blu-ray stuff, people already had either a Sony Blu-ray or they knew there was Sony Blu-ray available, so they already knew it. I understand what you're saying, but the article I saw, I read the same article. I read it on M4G, and it's just a opinion article. And, you know, that's all it is. It would be like, I don't know, somebody, you brought up a sports team, be like somebody talking about the Atlanta Falcons right now, their opinion on what happened during the Super Bowl. It's just an opinion piece. It's over and done with. To me, what they're bringing, people should get excited about, but as a consumer, I'm more with the price. What's the price?
Yeah,
you know, I mean, that's all I can say.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I agree with Psycho. This is the first gen where we have effectively focused solely on performance. We focused on sales. We focused on any and everything outside of the actual gaming experience. We focus on resolution and all that crap. And so, yes, this is something new to me. Because tell you the truth, last generation, I didn't know what was 720p, 1080p. It didn't really matter as long as I had my games and stuff like that. But this is the first time where any and everybody has been pixel peeping, frame counting, and everything else.
Pixel peeping.
Yeah, that's what Digital Foundry says. You know,
let's let Savage shout himself out and where he's from, and go ahead and give your opinion on this one real quick, there, Mr. Savage.
Savage, or you can call me Steven if you want.
Okay.
I'm from California.
Okay.
Right now, I'm just, to be honest, this is my first Google Hangout, so I'm trying to get off.
Oh, okay. Well, you're busting your cherry with some of the best of them, son. That's all I can say. But welcome from California, by the way, where E3 is going to be in a few more short weeks. So, but yeah, I mean, as far as I didn't understand, the way I understood pixels and things like that was the more they're on your screen, the cleaner your picture is going to be. So the first game I remember that ran 1080p was an Infamous Second Son. That's all I kept, but that was being pushed at my local GameStop. Oh, this is their first 1080p game. And then right after that, they followed up with the oh my goodness, The Last of Us remaster, which was 1080p.
No, it was Killzone. Killzone was the first 1080p.
Oh, was it Killzone? Okay. So I didn't even know that. But Killzone was not that good. I mean, to me it was. I was just running all over the place. And it had no waypoints for me to follow. I'm like, where am I supposed to go?
And that's the thing, like for me, like I ain't gonna lie, I got caught up in it. You know what I'm saying? I got caught up in the whole resolution talk, man.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking I'm gonna get this amazing, crazy experience. You know what I'm saying? Once I get it, and I got my consoles a little early. I got a little lucky, so I got them a little early. So I got both of them, and I played Killzone, and then I played whatever I was playing on Xbox. And I'm like, when I look at these two games, it was Rise. It was Rise. And so when I looked at it, I was like, when I look at these two games, I don't see a big dramatic difference.
Yeah. Rise is gorgeous.
And so
Rise is the best looking.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. And so that's what started my whole thing. I'm like, dude, this is a bunch of bullshit. Like, no lie. Well, and I'm looking at this stuff.
But the first party games, I didn't interrupt you. The first party games are going to always take more advantage of the system than the second and third party games. Well, that's just budget.
That's the thing. I'm looking, but I understand that. But I'm like, 1080p is what what I'm looking at all the forums and stuff like that, and I'm looking at what's being said about the power difference in this and this and that, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, okay, well, I'm about to get this amazing thing is going to happen. And then when I play the games, when I look at them, it's just like, okay, I don't see. I mean, both of them look good. This game looks great. This game looks great, but I don't see a big dramatic difference in what's being provided. The shit I got hyped up for, and it's my fault, but I'm like, the stuff I got hyped up for, by reading these articles and looking on YouTube, I mean, I don't see that big of a difference. And so that's what started the whole fanboy thing with me, because I'll get on the forums and say, hey, I'm playing these two games, and I play Call of Duty on this, and I play Call of Duty on this, or Battlefield on this and Battlefield on that, and I don't see that much of a difference. I got called all kind of names. I got blocked from N4G for saying this kind of stuff. Like, and I'm like, yeah. I'm looking at my TV, and I'm looking at both of these consoles, and I don't see a big difference. And people were like, went off on me, dude. Like, oh, you're just damage controlling, or you don't know what you're talking about. Remember, this was 2013. This was in the heyday of Microsoft being enemy number one. Yeah. And so, like, at that point in time, if you say anything positive or about Xbox or negative about PlayStation or whatever, you got the business. And so, I got blocked from it. I didn't curse anybody out. I didn't say anything bad. And I wrote this to N4G too. I was like, look, you got people that are cursing on here. You got people that are, arguing, stuff like that, and saying negative things, and you're blocking me for having a conversation with somebody. Yeah. And their response to me was, the community, this is the community driven website, and the community looking at your timeline or whatever, the community doesn't like what you're saying, and this and that, and you've been blocked. And I was like, wow. And I wasn't thinking about screenshots and stuff like that back then, but I was pissed. I was like genuinely pissed. Like, why? Just because I'm having a conversation with somebody and I'm talking good about a certain platform, why am I being blocked from a website?
Yeah. Do you think it's
supposed to be neutral?
Microsoft kind of put things in motion with their I think them wanting always online stuff is what really crippled them at the beginning of the generation. I know and then they lied about it, said you had to have the Connect. Now that wasn't nobody's fault.
Yeah.
They flat said that. And so when you
it couldn't be disconnected. It was into the whole system, and they couldn't do it.
Okay, y'all. Let's talk about that for a second. So this may sound like damage control, but at the time, you could not do that, like, because they built it like that, and the software was like that, to where you couldn't disconnect it. Like, you had to have the Connect, which is a bad thing, but you had to have the Connect connected to it. So with their software, they unlocked it. They unlocked it.
It only took them 2 months later to backtrack and update the patch that allowed you to disconnect.
No. It launched where you could disconnect it.
No.
They fixed that before launch.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they passed it a couple months after.
Yeah, because think about it. They dropped the price $100, 6 months, literally 6 months from launch. The reason they were able to drop the price, yes, I bought it day one, and 6 months later, literally 6 months later, they disconnected the Connect, and it was able to be purchased without the.
So you're talking about being able to purchase it without the Connect. I'm talking about being able to disconnect it. You can day one. Yeah. I unplugged my Connect and was playing games. I could do that on day one when I first bought it. I remember doing
you must have a special version, because ours basically, if you disconnected the Connect, it wouldn't let you go any further. You had to plug it back in. It popped up with a message on the screen, please plug in the connection. And so, obviously on the websites and YouTube and stuff like that, everyone was ranting. Well, I can't do this. They called it spy box, all kind of crap. It was kind of like at a really bad time, because that's when the whole WikiLeaks and the whole spy stuff started going on with, in the political realms and stuff like that. So the whole camera thing was it was just the worst time ever to have the Connect and to have to deal with that particular situation. But literally 6 months from launch, they started selling the Connect without the Connect, and then sales ramped up a little bit with that price drop. But in the beginning, the damage was already done. People had already got pissed, and you know what happens when people get pissed, man? They go the other way when there's another option.
Okay,
What
so
about the
I
price?
just looked it up. So look, I just looked it up. In
Mhm.
August, on August 12th, they announced that you can unplug it. See, I remember it was before.
Hold on one
It was
second.
on August 12th,
13.
2013. Here it says Xbox One will work even if Kinect isn't plugged in. Xbox chief producer Mark Whitten told IGN. And this is August 12th, 2013.
Okay, August 12th. All right, so the console launched in November of 13, right?
Right.
I still think
when,
the thing you guys are missing is the price point. It's $100, half a grand. You got to understand, Cycle. Smart TV at the same time was coming down exponentially. I mean, it came down faster than everybody anticipated. I mean, everybody, even the Samsung television president said, "Wow, these things really came down a lot faster than they had anticipated." And when you're buying,
so how long is the price thing? How long did the price advantage last?
I
What,
remember
4
it
months?
lasting at least
6 months.
Fall.
Yeah, but
well, no,
Okay.
did it drop in February? All right, it did drop to $399. Yeah, he's right, in February, and then later that year, it dropped to $350.
Yeah,
that's when you can get the Assassin's Creed bundle.
Yeah.
That was $350 with Black Flag, and it came with Unity as well.
And then right after that, they started bundling it with gift cards, TVs, and any and everything. But at that particular time, again, the damage was done, and I don't think it fully ever recovered from that debacle.
I think it's the price. I think it's, I mean, you got to really understand $1,000. That's a lot of, I mean, I'm telling you, something happens to the human psyche at $500. That's why everybody's screaming that Scorpio can't be $499. It has to come in under that, because it doesn't matter what it can do at $499. Psychologically, people start turning it off.
Yeah.
I mean, turning it off in their mind.
There's a reason that they add 99 behind the numbers. It's because the 99 always looks better than the 2 zeros.
Actual number,
yeah.
Right.
So that's just marketing strategy. It just looks much better. But you know, you got to think about this: $100 more. It's being bundled with something you really don't want. Because even Sony had their camera that they could have did the same thing. They could have forced it and stuck it in the box and charged that extra $100 or $50 more, or whatever. But they didn't do that, and that showed that people who want a camera, they'll go out and get it. You know, it has to be an accessory. I think going forward, some standards have been made this generation that will carry on into the future, and I think the benchmark pricing, the optimal pricing for a console is $399. I think anything more than that, you're gonna stall your fan base. It's gonna take longer for people to get it, because that's just a lot of money.
I mean, but the first 6 months shouldn't be indicative of an entire generation or 2-3 years later. And I understand. You
only get one chance at you only get one chance at the first impression. After that, it's
of course, and that's me, and that's just how I'm different, and I know that, I think a lot of us are like this. I mean, us gamers, the casuals are going to look at that and look at the price in the beginning and say, okay, this is the cheaper console, and they're doing the same thing, so I'm just going to get this. And the casuals are kind of stubborn in that sense, to where it's like, okay, I was told that PlayStation was the better console, so I'm gonna get that. But as a gamer, as a considered a hardcore gamer, a long-time gamer, for me, like we talked about earlier, I don't care about how you got there. I don't care about how you got to the price or why you got to the price. I just care about the price, right?
Yeah.
So for me, once the price drop, you know what I'm saying? Why not pick up an Xbox? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have it, if you can afford it, why not?
Let me move on to Nintendo. Well, I mean, we will come back to this. I know this is a passionate subject, but let's move on to Nintendo. There's people in the chat asking about it. Let me start with you, Steven. What games would you like to see Nintendo Switch come out with at this E3?
Like what I'm looking for on Nintendo's platform?
Yeah. What would move you to run out if you don't already have one? What would move you to possibly put it on your list to get?
I'm looking forward to. I don't have a Switch at the moment. Looking forward to Mario Odyssey. I would like a
All right.
Xeno Chronicles, and I would love a new Metroid.
Nice.
Okay.
I think that's about it to solidify for me to get a Switch.
Yeah, well, I understand you don't have one. I don't have one either. That's so as a consumer, if you saw a Metroid or the Mario's coming, but if you saw like for me, it's Donkey Kong. If they announce a Donkey Kong, they can just walk off the stage after that. I'll fight. There'd be some little kid holding that thing. I'm knocking him down like beast mode and taking that thing from him. But because I love Donkey Kong. But I understand that. What about you, Kratos? You own a Switch, so what game are you looking forward to possibly this fall? And are you going to get ARMS?
Yeah,
when it hits.
I've played the the little time demo multiplayer of ARMS. I liked it. Graphics are beautiful. I think it's great. I'm looking forward to a Kirby, man. Kirby, Donkey Kong, like you said. But I think above all, man, I'm looking for another Luigi's Mansion. Man, I can't wait for them. Hopefully that comes. I don't know if it will or not, but I love the Luigi's Mansion. Obviously on the GameCube, but and on the 3DS. So I'm looking forward for that franchise to come back. Nintendo has so many IPs they could drop, and it just Smash Brothers, just anything. But Mario Odyssey is probably, everybody knows a Mario game is going to sell like hotcakes regardless. So
absolutely.
Yeah. What about you, Cycle? You own the Switch. So what are you looking forward to, or what would you like to see Nintendo kind of come out and say we're coming with this? What would you like to see, brother?
I just like Nintendo to come out with games that Nintendo are known for. That's what I bought my Wii for, and that's what I bought my Wii U for. And all that. So Mario, Donkey Kong, already got a Zelda, and Kirby is like you just mentioned. Kirby's a good one too.
Yeah.
But that's all I want to see, man. Is a Mario, maybe a Mario Kart, another Mario Kart, and shit. That's pretty much it. Like I couldn't even play the demo for ARMS. I don't know why I couldn't play it, but I couldn't play it. And I want to say this too, man. The Nintendo is a great console for somebody that's on the go. There's nothing like playing Zelda on a plane for fucking 10 hours, and then ride on your way to the hotel, playing Zelda, and then once you get to the hotel, taking it off of the thing and putting it in the dock and continuing like right where you left off. Like that feeling was just it was great. So
yeah.
Now, when you were in China, were people coming up to you and asking you what it was, or did you see any? Were you out with it on the street?
I didn't see anybody with one, but a lot of people came to me and was asking me what it was, or why is my skin tone this color? And no, I'm joking. No, I'm gonna say this though. I'm gonna say this. Like, if any black man goes to China, be prepared, brother, to get a lot of looks. And the ladies pull up. I'll say that too. But people were asking though.
I be telling brothers that. Yeah,
man.
You gotta go travel, man. I went down to Brazil a couple years ago, and my God, we get way off topic though. But
I was
offline
topic. Back on topic. Yeah, people were stopping to ask me what it was and stuff like that. They were just stopping like, hey, what is that? Is it a tablet or what? And so, I just kind of pretty much explained it to them. I got into this long conversation with somebody about how it works, and it has extra little controllers. You can take these off, and they were just, amazed by it. So, but yeah.
Wow,
cool.
Well, that's cool. Well, we are now joined by the man who cannot go home, the general of plays.
He's been excommunicated.
Iron Wolf.
Yeah, I may have got excommunicated, man. But you know what? I still love the Xbox as a console. Period.
Why you be talking shit about the Xbox then?
Yo, cycle. I'm just being critical of something I love, of my hobby. That's all it is, man.
Okay.
I do want them to do good. I'm rooting for them at E3. I hope they give me a reason to start liking them again, and that's all it is, man. But good to be here. Thanks for the invite, Craig, man. And you forgot to ask me the question about what I'm looking forward to on the Switch, man.
Well, I was coming to you. I was coming. We got distracted there talking about the ladies, but we got to talk about them while they're not in front of us now. But yeah, go ahead, Wolf. What do you think? I don't know. Do you have a Switch? And if you do or do not, what are you looking forward to this fall or this E3? I'm saying a couple weeks.
I have a Switch. I only have Zelda right now. I was thinking about getting a Mario Kart, but I thought I'm not really in a rush because I played the one on the Wii U, so I'll wait on that. I'm hoping for a new Bayonetta. Hopefully they'll have a Bayonetta 3 on the Switch. I'm also hoping that we could get more news on the Shin Megami Tensei game that's exclusive to the Switch. So I want to know more about that. Donkey Kong, I'm hoping for that. Maybe a new Pokemon. I'm hoping for a new Pokemon. Perhaps a new Metroid game. I've been waiting for a new Metroid game for a very long time. That's about it, man. To be perfectly frank, cool. Mario, it was Mario. We all want Mario, right? So we already know that's coming. But as far as the things that we don't know, I hope this is what we see.
All right, well, I understand that. That's a strong lineup. You give me a Donkey Kong and Pokemon, especially Donkey. Like I said, you walk off the stage, I'll finesse one. I'll get one somehow. You know, I'll sell blood if I have to. You come out with Donkey Kong, yeah, I'll be purchasing one. But all right, we'll move on to Ubisoft. And Ubisoft, in theory, I can't remember the times, but Ubisoft, in theory, has the first chance to show a game running on the Scorpio, possibly Assassin's Creed or something like that. So let me start with you, Savage Uger. Or Steven, I'm sorry, I gotta get that in my head. Steven, what do you think? What do you think Ubisoft brings, and do we actually see a physical game besides the driving game running on the Scorpio at this press conference?
I don't know. I could see at Ubisoft's conference them running the games on PC, but yeah, we possibly could. But Assassin's Creed, I'm not like a big fan on it, but I have all the Assassin's Creed games. I enjoy them.
I heard that.
And what's it called? Splinter Cell are the only really games I like from Ubisoft lately.
Are you interested in Far Cry 5?
Never been big on Far Cry.
Okay.
Get into it.
All right, what about you, Kratos, the god of PlayStation? What will move you to just drop everything you're doing? Tell the missus that you're gonna run out and look at some shoes and maybe go purchase some Ubisoft software there, my man.
I hear you, man. Ubisoft, again, another love and hate relationship. They make some great games, but for every good game they make a crappy game. Far Cry, I'm very interested in that game, just for the storyline. It looks like an all-American chaos, what we have going on here in the U.S. right now, and so I'm looking forward to that crap.
Right. I heard that. Yeah, me myself, I'm interested in Assassin's Creed. I actually wrote Ubi an email that said make it in Samaria. Sumar, the Fertile Crescent, Iraq, Turkey, and all that stuff. And they went with Egypt, which is garbage, but disappointing. But it should still be fun. A lot of things we can learn. I like it because it does kind of give you a history lesson on the buildings and some of the people. But let's just see. For me, I know Egypt is in Africa, so the people better look African, not like Gerald.
Exactly. Hopefully it's not like Gods of Egypt with a
I can't take that. That movie was trash. I mean, God, great effects though. Great effects. What about you, Cycle? What at Ubi will move your bowels for this president? Do you think we see some games? Because we've been hearing about Microsoft will more than likely have marketing for Assassin's Creed. So what do you think? You think Ubi shows a possible game running on Scorpio at their presser first?
I just got back. I just picked my mic back up because I left for a second.
Ask him the question again.
Okay, we're just talking about Ubisoft, their presser. at E3? And do you think we'll see a possible game running on Scorpio at their press conference so that everybody can kind of get their ooh and ah in on some general looks?
Ubisoft is after or before Microsoft?
After.
Oh,
okay. If it's after, then yeah, I think they're going to show some running on Scorpio.
Okay.
As far as their marketing deal, I heard there was some kind of marketing deal that Microsoft has with some kind of big third party game or whatever. So yeah, I think all these companies are going to try to run the game at the best possible way, looking the best, right?
Yeah.
And so if they do have a marketing deal with Microsoft or whatever, I'm pretty sure they're going to show it running on Scorpio, whatever game that they have. Yeah.
Or PC.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. Keep in mind, guys. I just want to say this real quick. Ubisoft is notoriously known for showing great games at E3 on PC, and then when the game comes out, it looks like garbage. Remember Watch Dogs?
Oh yeah.
So I'm putting my expectations in check for anything they show.
Yeah, I can't blame you. What about who we haven't went to yet? Wolf, we come to you on that one yet?
Oh, you're talking about Ubisoft?
Yeah.
I'm pretty much expecting the Assassin's Creed Empire, wherever it is, the Egyptian one. I think Xbox is going to be the lead platform. They're going to show it on Scorpio, running in 4K. I think Splinter Cell is another game they may bring back. Michael Ironside, the lead voice. So I'm definitely going to see that. I think that maybe, I don't know. I think it could possibly be a timed exclusive for the Scorpio, or maybe even full exclusive, because Ubisoft. Splinter Cell and the Xbox, they kind of been like tied together for a long time since the OG Xbox. So, and plus, Conviction was exclusive as well, by the way, on 360. So, it'll make sense, man. So I could see the next Splinter Cell being timed or maybe full exclusive. Anything else from Ubisoft? Let me think, man. Yeah, maybe a Rainbow Six. Because Siege wasn't really it never really had a single player like that. So maybe the next Rainbow Six could, they could really go hard on this one. May have a single player campaign.
Well,
or whatever.
Do you guys remember the Rainbow Six? It was called, I forgot what the name was.
It could have Vegas Free. You never know. It could be called Vegas Free.
Yeah, they canceled the game. They canceled the Rainbow Six.
Yeah, you're right.
Last gen, it was supposed to be, this kind of gory type, realistic type game, and they canceled it. I think it was called Patriots.
Yeah.
And so, if they can renew that and bring that out the woodworks, I'll be interested in that.
Man, which Rainbow Six was that where you could like take your face and put it in the game?
Vegas.
Yeah, that was Vegas. Yeah,
that was fucking cool.
Yeah.
Here's what I liked about Vegas: the online mode. If you only jumped in to play online only and you didn't go through the campaign, they punished you for not campaigning. They gave you the shittiest guns. It was
wish
bad.
more games did that. I really do.
Yeah.
One game I would like to see from Ubisoft, man. I hope to see a Prince of Persia come back one day, man. That was one of my favorites, bro.
Yeah, they got off the rails a little bit though. They kind of went.
Yeah, and that movie was garbage.
I don't care, man. I still love it, man.
You're right, yeah, but boy, I agree. And that would be a nice surprise. I won't lie. That's they went more in the Assassin's Creed mode. And that movie, I didn't like that movie either. But everybody knows that. Oh, and by the way, let me break this now. The embargo on Wonder Woman gets lifted tonight, 8:00 Eastern time.
When's the movie come out?
You not want to know? It comes out. It comes out Thursday at 6:00. I've already seen it. I'm not going to do a review on it until Sunday. So I will do so people need to go see it or don't watch my review on Sunday. But it was okay. It was okay. But let's move on here. Let's move to let's just do the big ones. All right, Microsoft. Microsoft's all right, this is for you, Cycle. You're the Xbox guy here. Microsoft walks out on stage. Of course, it's green and whatever, green, black, and white. Those are kind of their colors. And what's the first thing that they are going to do out there? And if you show that T-shirt that's on Twitter with 6 teraflops and all that stuff, I don't know if you've seen that. Walk out there with that shit, I will.
The specs.
But now, honestly, look, keeping it 100 here. What do you want them to do? They walk out on stage, all the lights go down, stage turns green, whatever. First thing they do is what?
Well, the first thing you're gonna do is probably welcome everybody, right? But second, I mean, what they're gonna do is talk about the Scorpio. I think it's best for them to talk about the Scorpio, show what it looks like, get it out of the way, and that way, everything going forward, people understand that it's probably running on the Scorpio and whatever. But I think it's the first thing they're gonna do is talk about Scorpio, and then go into a few games after that. That's just what I think is going to happen. They're going to talk about, I think, the Splinter Cell. I think they would shut it down with Crackdown if they actually did what they said they were going to do with Crackdown. I think that's something that it's a game changer, in my opinion. And Forza, obviously, and shit. After that, and Sea of Thieves. After that, I think it's hard to predict something that you don't. Microsoft hasn't given us any kind of indication that anything new is coming, anything completely new. But there's always some of those surprises at E3. So, but yeah, that's what I think what's going to happen. They're going to talk about Scorpio. They're going to talk a little bit about VR, or AR, or both. And they're going to talk about a few games, the games that we already know about. And I think Cuphead is going to be released that day. That's what I think. That's my bold prediction. Is Cuphead is going to be released on
that would be strong. That'd be a strong. Now the big question: what price do they walk off that stage with for this Scorpio?
Man, that's a tough one. I accept.
Based on what you know it can do, based on what we've seen so far, what do you think?
I can understand a $500 price point. They would shut it down with a $399 price point. I think they're going to go with the $500 price point though.
1 or 2 terabytes. 1 or 2 terabytes.
Probably 2.
2. All right, that's fair. Mr. Steven, what do you think? What at the Microsoft? What do you think they're going to do? And what makes you run to the store and put one on reserve like that day?
He's playing a game.
I'm sorry, my earpiece fell out. I didn't hear you.
Okay. What do you think Microsoft shows at E3 that gets you up and go to the store and put one on reserve like that day, the day of?
Be honest, really the only game that looks interesting to me that Microsoft has is Cuphead. But I mean, I've K1 played Crackdown 1 and 2. They're bad games, just not my games. So really, I'm not a racer. I don't really care for racer or sports games. I'll play them every now and then, but I really don't care for them. So Forza doesn't interest me at all. So I would love to see something like Scalebound again, to be honest.
Okay, well, that's probably not going to happen, but I understand your pain on that one. So
no, I mean, I know not Scalebound per se, but I'm saying in a sense, a game, just basically a good RPG.
A JRPG.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't exactly have to be JRPG, but I mean, just a good narrative-based RPG is what would really look at. I mean, because up until January 8th, I was planning on buying the Switch.
Yeah.
Or Scorpio, sorry.
All right. Are you going to buy one, you said?
No, I said up until January 8th, I was going to buy a Scorpio.
What happened January 8th?
Yeah, on the 9th, they canceled Scalebound.
Man, look. Okay, never mind, I'm sorry.
No, it's not that. It's like, it was Scalebound mixed with that I already have Gears, I already have Rise, games that I wanted to play on it. It was Scalebound was the kicker for me. Yeah, that was the one that made it so it stacked up just enough that I was gonna purchase it.
Okay, I'm not calling you a liar. I'm not calling you a liar or anything, but I'm just saying it was when Microsoft was talking about Scalebound it was getting lukewarm responses. Nobody was really like, "Oh my God, fucking Scalebound." But it's like,
I was.
no, come on. I didn't see it on the internet too much. I mean,
I was
people say it was
gassed.
okay. But
You
when
could,
they
if you,
when they
I don't know
canceled
if you could.
when they canceled it, it was everybody's favorite game. Oh, I was gonna get an Xbox just for Scalebound.
Okay, but if you like any of my comments back, rumors going around Scalebound was canceled. Me posting up, I pray to God it's not canceled because that's the only game that I want for 2017. That's what I wrote. All over, everywhere, whatever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not calling you. I'm just saying from my observations from other people.
I understand that. I wanted Scalebound 2016 at E3 when because me and my friends were like, we're just gonna play co-op.
Right.
And we're going to jump in a game. We can play the game. And we can just jump in each other's game with each other's dragons. It was something that we were talking about.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, Psycho.
Okay.
According to this year, the games that were released first part of this year for the PlayStation, such as Neo, Nier Automata, Kingdom Hearts 2.8. And the rest of those games that fit in that category, action RPGs and JRPGs are a big deal. It's no longer a niche. So games like Scalebound is no longer niche. So there's a big fan base for that, and it got proved this generation. It got proved this year that there's a ton of people on the Xbox side and the PlayStation side that look forward to those games. And I know at least 10 of my friends that bought their Xboxes exclusively for Scalebound. And when that game did not produce anything, they went straight to GameStop.
I guarantee y'all, all right, if Microsoft puts out an RPG sometime during this generation, right, a JRPG, I guarantee y'all it would not do well. I'm willing to put some money on it. Right now.
Cycle,
But
can
you
you
know,
hear me,
number cycle. Do you know why that is though? It's because of the fan base, man. That's why.
That's
probably pulling. Like
that's
it's probably
Microsoft's fault.
pulling. No, but it probably pulling some, Nintendo and PlayStation games. Let's just say they release a Lost Odyssey 2. I'm sure like a lot of PlayStation guys are gonna buy an Xbox for that game. Maybe not like millions upon millions, but there is gonna be a good few.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm serious.
Wait,
People are going to buy. I mean, if Microsoft puts out a game, people are going to buy it. That's just the way it goes. But I mean, as far as doing well, like you would think that
I think Craig just
canceled. You would think that
Yeah, he did
Microsoft
just
just
leave.
canceled a Gears game or something, like the way that people were talking.
Yeah.
The fact that the Scalebound got canceled. Like I'm serious. I guarantee that if they put out a JRPG or something like that on Xbox, a big one like Scalebound, it's not going to do well.
Hey, Cycle, can you hear me, man?
I can hear you.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, bro? This is Andrew.
Hey, Andrew, how's it going?
Oh, Andrew.
How you doing? No, I just want to address something that Cycle has said. I get what you're saying, but you can't just put one on there because Xbox fans have been conditioned not to have JRPGs on the system. I mean, they had JRPGs on previous systems. You can't just put one on there. Just like what Sony says, they put out 10 exclusives, maybe 3 or 4 do well. You got to keep doing it. Now, Scalebound would have sold because that's one game I'm interested in, and haven't been interested in the Xbox One except for the Halo Master Chief Collection, which messed up in the beginning, and I thought Quantum Break was gonna be good. That wasn't good, so I didn't get an Xbox One. But I was thinking about getting an Xbox One to play Scalebound, and many PlayStation fans were also.
Did you play the game you just mentioned?
Quantum Break?
Quantum Break. Did you play Quantum Break?
No, because I'm smart enough to look at something and can tell if I'm interested or not. Just like I never played Last Guardian, but I played it and I liked it. I mean, you gotta look at something, and it looked like it wasn't full of content. Just like Record, that looked like it's not a complete game. Go ahead.
There's just one thing I learned too, just over the years of gaming, is that I can't trust the reviewers. And this is me personally. I mean, maybe you can look at a game or listen to a review or a couple of reviews and say, okay, this game isn't for me. But what I've learned is I've been almost the direct opposite. Almost 80% of the time, I've been the direct opposite. If if the community is saying, if I look at a review and it says it's got a 70 or whatever, there's been so many games that I've played and was like, man, this game is really good. Or there's some games that I play and I think that's great, but the reviews are terrible. I thought Quantum Break was amazing. Like, it's something that was different, and it's something that was new and something that we don't normally see from Microsoft. So for me, I love the game.
Yeah.
But the reviews said otherwise and the sales said otherwise.
Well, let me just say one thing. I've been gaming since like 1984, 85. I'm smart enough to know to look at a game to realize if I'm interested in it or not. Halo, just looking at Halo, you know that's a good game. Just looking at Gears, you know that's a good game. You don't need reviews to know if a game is interesting. Only thing you use reviews for is for time length, and does it have a multiplayer or not, and does it have bugs or not. I'm talking about looking at gameplay. I've been gaming since Atari. I know what to look at a game and know if I like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And 9 times out of 10, if I'm interested in the game by the trailer and I play it, I like it.
And it's think about it, it's all opinionated too, guys.
Yeah. That's
what you like may not necessarily be good for me, you know.
Okay,
Yes.
so I've been gaming just about as long as you have, and I say the same thing. You know what I'm saying? I can't say that I can just look at it and say I don't like it. I mean, I have to try it out a little bit at least to see if I like it or not. But you said that you saw it. You saw Quantum Break and you liked it. It just turned out it wasn't a good game. So
I saw the first trailer, but when I watched gameplay, when the game finally came out, and it didn't look completely developed. It's like Recall. I could look at Recall and be like, that something's missing in the development process.
Yeah.
It's like I could look at Last Guardian and tell that the controls are a little wanky because it's an old generation game, even though it's a good game. You can tell things by looking at the gameplay. The gameplay is what gets you interested.
Yeah, and that's the same thing I said about Recore. The same thing I said about Recore was it doesn't look complete. It looks unfinished. You know what I'm saying? And I looked at that and I can tell that. People are like, what the hell are you talking about? I'm like, I don't know exactly, but I'm looking at it. It just doesn't look finished. But I can tell you that Quantum Break is a complete game. And it's finished. It just
why do they need those long TV shows in it then? Because if I'm playing Uncharted or The Last Guardian and I like those games when a 30-minute TV show come on, I'm gonna drink some motherfucking alcohol and then mess with a girl and then go to sleep or something. I'm gonna stop playing the game.
This is what I'm saying. To me, that was the beauty of the game. You know what I'm saying? For me, it was because, you know, because sometimes, and I don't know if this is a casual thing or what, but like sometimes I can play a game so much and I just need a break. I want to watch a cutscene or something like that. Like this, all this stuff kind of, it helps sell the narrative of the game and what the game is about. And it's only four, and there's only 4 of them in there.
Yeah, and Quantum Break.
Go ahead.
Quantum Break was it was in a tough situation, man, because it was, like you said, it was the first game that Microsoft tried with the episodic type cut scenes and had the real actors and the whole plot and everything. They dumped a lot of money in that game. I can tell from the value of it, but it's just the fact that, man, I can't believe that game didn't sell anything.
I can't believe it either.
The fan base
wasn't a system seller. That's the problem. It was hyped as a system seller and it's nowhere near.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
You're right. Yeah, every
Microsoft
game
has no system seller this generation. Sony has multiple. That's the problem.
Do you think the P like also sells on it?
Wait, say that again, man.
Repeat yourself.
The PC port, like it was 6 weeks they announced it before it released for Quantum Break. Do you think that damaged sales as well?
That had some to do with it because remember that was the first game that kind of came out that said it was going to be after Phil Spencer said no, the games are not going to go to PC, and then come to find out. It was announced to come to PC.
I think the whole PC thing has something to do with it, and also the whole 720p thing as well. When Digital Foundry done their little analysis,
you know what I think?
A lot of people killed it on it.
I think what killed it was the marketing. Because I didn't see too many commercials for it. I didn't see it on TV a lot.
I don't know about you, but I live in Europe, and this is a European game.
Okay.
And since it's a European game, I saw a lot of commercials for Quantum Break.
Gotcha. I didn't hardly see it.
Let me apologize. Not to cut you off there, Psycho. I apologize for that. Spectrum is horrible. Okay, that's what happened. I just looked at my modem box and it was all dotted out. I was like, all right, so that's my fault. But a special shout out to Andrew Wilkins here. He is a Patreon, so I appreciate you joining us, brother. I didn't get a chance.
All right, thank you, brother. Sorry about that.
I didn't get to get here. I was about to say something, and all of a sudden, all my blue lights turned red. So,
okay.
and I'm like, I know I paid my bill, so don't. I was like, don't give me that. But it fine. Yeah, I'm like, hell. But thanks for holding it down for me, J-Dub. I saw that tweet pop up on my phone.
I got you.
But damn, sounds like I was missing a good conversation.
Yeah, we're talking about Quantum Break.
Microsoft?
We're on Microsoft. We're talking about Quantum Break or whatever.
Yeah.
Quantum Break's problem in a nutshell was that the fanboys, aka I call them Jack Reacher, they build that game as the Uncharted killer.
That's true. That's true.
Because they remember Uncharted and Quantum Break was going to both come out in March.
Yeah,
and Uncharted got pushed back to May, and all you heard was fanboys saying, "Well, they're moving out of the way. This game is going to be so great," and then they didn't go out and buy it. So it's and Remedy. Who, me?
Yeah.
Me? Well, yeah, I did play a little bit of Quantum Break. It was okay. I mean, I liked it as far as what it was trying to do.
I rented it.
I didn't call it the Uncharted killer.
I got the collector's edition. I bought the collector's edition.
I don't think it's Uncharted killer either. That's crazy. But I just think it was an amazing game, man. I just wish more people played it.
And I think it's unfortunate that it wasn't supported, unlike like Halo Storm said last week. So shout out to him because he was back in the chat. He said the reason why the Xbox people didn't buy their games was, quote, because of what Sony was doing to them.
Why the hell would you play Sony for your favorites, man?
That's what he said.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said Sony has something to do with it, not the fact that people didn't get up off their butts or like some people do digital downloads. You ain't got to go nowhere. But yeah, Quantum Break was their fault. And Remedy kicked them in their Donnie bags here recently and said, we're not going to just make games for you guys anymore.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Let me address something real quick. Y'all know y'all see how history's repeating itself? I remember looking last generation where people were saying that, the Xbox guys, the extreme Xbox guys were saying that, Sony guys don't buy their games. Sony's coming out with all these exclusives, but they ain't buying their games. I don't think that it's the fanboys that aren't buying the games. I think that the fanboys are buying the games. It's the casuals that aren't buying the big exclusive games.
Because they're not appealing. That's why.
The casuals will always outweigh the hardcore. The casuals will always outweigh the hardcore when it comes to numbers. There's just not enough hardcore fans, hardcore gamers out there to take the slack of the casuals.
Right, that's why it's always funny to me to hear people say that fanboys aren't buying the games. Yeah. I think they are.
Not the YouTube fanboys. They're not. They're too busy playing PlayStation games.
Yeah, they're underperforming. I just think their games are selling. They're underperforming. So it says I'll never say. Well, I tell you, like something that bombed, that King Arthur movie. God damn, they've already pulled that shit out of theaters. It's only been out 1 week.
Was it that bad?
That's a bomb. Quantum Break underperformed. I mean, it's now Halo 5 underperformed compared for Halo.
Pretty much
a lot of copies.
Pretty much every. I'm going to say the bulk of all Xbox games this gen. Not bombed, but they underperformed of what they should have. Look at Dead Rising 4. That game bombed big time. You had some supposedly niche games outsold that game.
Damn, did it sell that bad?
Yeah, it's
like for me, like I don't really pay attention to sales. I just get the game and play it. Like I've never ever cared about how much a game sold or whatever. But it's sold that bad.
Yeah, it's so bad. So here's the thing: you have all of these fanboys hyping up these games, and yet when it drops, they're not buying them and they're not playing them. And then when it, obviously when it's, I just don't see it. I'm like, if you're hyping up these games, you need to go out and buy it.
I have the answer to that reason though. Why?
Why?
Because these Xbox YouTubers are lying. They're upset because this Xbox One generation is nowhere near as good as the last 360 generation. And they just salty because PlayStation is doing what they've been doing since day one, being the king of gaming. It's like Nintendo fans. When they be salty because Nintendo ain't where they used to be and they lie and say Sony games suck. But you rarely hear Nintendo fans say Xbox games suck. It's just they're salty. And that's why you constantly catch these Xbox dudes in lies. Name how many PlayStation guys you caught in a lie. Now I know J-Tech may be extreme, but he never lies.
Yeah, my God, yeah.
He may be extreme, but I never caught him in a lie. Not once. That's my point. They're lying. They don't really like these games. On the low, they don't really like these games for real.
Well, here's the puzzling thing, though. A lot of these games on the PlayStation, a lot of that, I know a lot of my Xbox friends, they call them niche. They say they're Japanese niche games, you know, stuff like Neo, Nier, and stuff like that. A bunch of games that a lot of the casuals don't care for. So they kind of shit on those games. But then when you look at the sales of those games are sold like 2 and 3 million. Some of them have sold out in stores and everything else. It's ridiculous. So
well, they're almost selling the same. If you look at their fan base, I mean, if you look at this, so people are talking about the sales, right? And I think what they're saying, well, Xbox got 30 and PlayStation got 60. If you look at these consoles for what they are, they're selling about the same for their fan base, for how many fans they have or how many consoles they have out there on the market.
It's you know what, that's all subjective. At the end of the day, if you want a sequel, the game's gonna have to sell. You can't say, well, it only sold 400,000 copies because we only had 26 million people. You can't do that. The developer is gonna be like, I don't care. I delivered a game, it didn't sell. So guess what? Next time I'm gonna make it a multi-plat, and I'm gonna make money across the board versus dedicating it to your platform. You see what I'm saying? Yeah,
that's fair.
And so that's why Phil Spencer is coming out like, you know, some of these single player exclusive games that we tried to bring you, like Quantum Break, you fuckers didn't buy. So guess what? Don't cry now because I'm not going to focus on that. I'm just going to focus.
And that was the part of my rant today. It was like, okay, Microsoft came out with all these games, right? And all these exclusive games, and nobody, I mean, they weren't getting praise from the media or praise from people on YouTube by saying, oh, Microsoft is coming out with all these games, or Sony has the power, they have the resolution difference, but where are their games at? Nobody was saying that.
Sony Ben has become our games.
So wait, hold on. So now, wait, real quick. Let me finish real quick. So Microsoft is taking this data, right? They're saying they're seeing what's being out there, what's being put out there in the community, was being put out there on YouTube, was being put out there by the media, and they're taking that, which I think is a mistake. They're taking that and saying, okay, people want resolution. Like, we're spending all this money on fucking games and stuff, and people aren't buying them. They want a powerful system, so that's what we're going to deliver, a powerful system. Now that's being flipped on its head. Now it's saying, people are saying, why is Microsoft putting money in this powerful system, but they're not putting out games? Like, this shit is confusing.
I just think you're missing out on something. That is that, okay, their system is more powerful. That's the given. But the games, it's up to the developers to run the games at that rate. That's why I've always said the first party games are going to take advantage of Scorpio's power. You all are listening to Jack Reacher, who told you that all these games are going to be 4K 60, and we don't have any documentation to prove that yet.
Well, there are some developers that came out there and said that their games are going to be, 4K. Like the Project Cars developer said that they're not going to let PlayStation hold the Xbox Scorpio back, and they're going to make
that will be 4K 60 on both consoles. This one will probably run it native at a higher texture setting, but Project Cars, didn't the original Project Cars run
1080p 60? Yeah, the original was 1080p 60.
Yeah, so
again, it's a racer. So. But I get
it's a racer, man. It's not really a demanding game.
I get Cycle point, and you know what? He's correct. But at the end of the day, I still go back to that was an argument. You can't go back to an argument that was 3-4 years ago and apply that to the current day. The fight that the Xbox guys had back then is not the fight that they should be having now. It's like, okay, yes, you got beat in resolution, you got beat in frames 3-4 years ago. Now we've moved on.
The party's over now. The party's over.
You can't make up for lost time.
Okay, so this is what I need to understand.
You got to remember though, too. Last gen, it was the opposite.
Goalposts. I'm not moving the goalposts.
Xbox had the best multi-plats last gen.
Yes,
and they were bragging about having the best multi-plats.
You're right. Sure. You're 100% right. So it's just the way things go. I'm not saying that the PlayStation guys are trying to hurry up and move the goalposts before the Xbox guys get a chance to come back. It's not even about that anymore. The fact that the whole 1080p argument has been settled. That's over. We've moved away from 1080p. We're on to 4K now. So that L is just gonna have to be taken from back 3-4 years ago. It's just gonna have to be swallowed, and we're just gonna have to focus on 4K.
That's fine. So this is the thing, though.
The Scorpio is gonna have the best 4K. Okay, fine. I give you that. That's fine. But at the end of the day, the PlayStation guys are in a position where they can say, well, At least we have exclusives. At least we have the single player experiences. At least we have a shitload of games. At least we have this, the VR. At least we have all of this other stuff that's gonna jumble together and counter your 4K 60 frames. You see what I'm saying? It's always gonna be something. It's always going to be something.
It's always going to be something, and I don't understand why that's changing. And I'm not just talking about fanboys. I'm talking about the majority of what's happening in this community. I'm talking about the IGNs, the GameSpots. I'm talking about all that. If resolution is important, it's important. If the games are important, the games are important. That can't switch halfway through. Why is that switching halfway through a generation?
Because both systems run games at 2160p.
Yeah.
Period.
One is native and one is upscaling. And it's the same thing that was happening. It's the same thing that was happening at the beginning of this generation.
Okay, but there's a huge difference in upscaling to 2160p as long as the pixel count's the same.
Bro, what it is, once you go past 1080p, 1400p, you're above HD at that point. You're getting close to, UHD, Ultra HD. Yeah. But
just like on PC gaming, thank you.
What it is, the Xbox One, that was 720p. That's sub HD.
No, there was a few games that was 720p.
No, not it was a lot. It wasn't a few. It wasn't a handful. Because I've heard
Xbox have more 1080p games than 720p games.
It's probably about half and half. I'm going to give you that. Half and half. Half and half. Remember, Microsoft is the one that started this whole dynamic resolution and this whole upscaling stuff, that they touted this stuff because remember, their console couldn't do it in a consistent basis. And guess what? At the same time, the Scorpio's coming out. Yes, it's more powerful, but guess what? There are going to be some games that's going to use sparse rendering and checkerboard techniques to do that as well. So let's not just say that, okay, this is 4K and this is just what it is. I guarantee you, if you run The Witcher 3 and other games like that on the Scorpio, it's going to have a hell of a time, and then you're going to have the sparse rendering used. So, yes, it's more powerful. I'm just saying it's give and take. It's just give and take. At the end of the day, it's all give and take. But none of those specs is going to matter, guys.
All right, I'm going to move to the Sony presser. If you all hadn't gotten there yet, I'm going to start with the general here. All right, so Wolf, Sony comes out there. The stage goes black. The blue or purple light comes on, whichever color they use. Sony walks out there, and what are we going to see right off the top? What are they going to open with? What's going to just take? Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Well, I don't think we're going to see God of War opened again. They're not going to open it with God of War again this year. I could tell you that. It'll probably be in between, maybe in the middle of the show. It may likely be Sucker Punch's new IP, or it could be Miyazaki, the guy that made Bloodborne. It could be his new game, maybe even Bloodborne 2. Whatever they start the show with, it has to be something new. It cannot be with something we already know. Or it could be Spider-Man. They could start the show with Spider-Man. Something that I really wanted to see at E3, which was Shenmue 3, we're not going to see. The developers confirmed that there's no Shenmue 3 at E3. So we probably may have to wait for that at PSX or maybe next year's E3, which is pretty unfortunate, but it is what it is, It is an indie game. It did... It's been funded by Kickstarter, so you cannot really expect that game to be out any sooner. So,
I agree with you on Spider-Man because that movie comes out like 2 weeks after E3, 2 to 3 weeks, and I think
they could be riding off the hype of the movie of Homecoming. They could ride off that hype and bring out and give a date for the game. Maybe even
they could release it with the Blu-ray release.
Yeah.
As far as like a Blu-ray of the new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, I'm saying maybe they might release it.
As far as what they show, as far as what do you think they're
gonna show Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront gameplay from the campaign. I think we're gonna definitely see that. I don't think we're gonna see Red Dead Redemption. I think Rockstar kind of confirmed it. I think that'd be more of a PSX thing. But who knows? They may end up showing Red Dead Redemption 2. Destiny 2, they may show more of that from the campaign. Who knows? Because they do have marketing for that. Call of Duty World War II, they're going to show, something from the campaign on that game, since they have the marketing rights for that. So I'm sure they're going to have to promote that game in some way. As far as the exclusives go, yeah, we're going to see God of War in between. Days Gone is already confirmed to be at E3. That's going to be one of the headline games. Last of Us 2 gameplay. I think we're definitely going to see The Last of Us 2 in some way, shape, and form. Uncharted Lost Legacy, maybe. I don't think we're going to see that much of it since it's going to drop 2 months after E3. But we may see another trailer for it. Who knows? There's just so much Sony have that they can show, and they could even hold back some of the stuff for another show. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
I remember Phil Spencer saying that we have so much content that 90 minutes is not enough with the amount of stuff we have. We have to push some of it back. I'm still waiting on all of that. But, in the other side, in the meantime, we have Sony with all of this shit. And plus, they're going to have a 15-hour live stream, even after E3.
Yeah.
Facts.
They're going to have their E3 televised across movie theaters.
In the movie theaters, too.
Across the U.S., everywhere.
Yeah.
Facts. All right, we'll go to let's go to Andrew, the main man Patreon here. What do you think Sony walks out there with, and what do you think they open with, and what are you expecting, and what absolutely just gets you jumping up off the couch that day or the chair or wherever you're going to be at, sitting on the steps? I see you right there. You're going to be watching it from there, my brother.
Yes, sir. I mean, I would hope maybe they could come out showing some Detroit Become Human. They need to push that game because I hear a lot of people saying they want to see Days Gone. I want to see Detroit first, because if anybody's ever played Fahrenheit, aka Indigo Prophecy, that's one of the greatest games ever. That team is amazing.
Yep.
Yes, that team is amazing. Really, they got so much stuff, so many third-party deals. They really only need to show maybe 2 or 3 new exclusives and then release. Come out with some release dates. Hopefully, Spider-Man will come out this year. All they need really is a Detroit and a Spider-Man. Maybe God of War at the end of this year or beginning of the early year. And they probably may drop some new demos like they've done in previous E3, saying, hey, you could demo this new game we got coming out now on the PSN store. So,
or maybe like the Crash demo. Say, hey, you could download the Crash demo or something like that. No, actually, that would be yeah, you can, because E3 is before Crash releasing anyway.
Yep. So all they really need is they got so much stuff. We still got the Dream game. What's up with the Dream game? They got VR. They got so much stuff. They really only need 2 or 3 exclusives and just show more of what we've seen in the past.
Yeah, Ace Combat games, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Show some more VR. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I think Japan Studio have a game in the works as well. I do have a feeling.
Mm-hmm. You good, Craig? I don't know if Craig's connection.
Maybe he got kicked out.
Hey, Cycle, you want to chime in, and then I'll go.
Man, I don't know what hasn't been said. Shit. No, I will say this. I think this may be a little bit controversial, but I think this is going to be Sony's best E3. I think the last one, and I think the first 2 E3s, Microsoft got that as far as the games are concerned. The last one, Sony got that one. I think this is going to be their best one. I think this is going to be the one where they demolish Xbox as far as the games that they're going to show. When you look at Spider-Man, The Last of Us 2, and all the other games that y'all mentioned, there's no way Sony can lose this conference.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to it.
Okay.
Yep.
That's good. Well, I'm gonna put down my predictions. My prediction is The Order 1887, Bloodborne 2, and I believe maybe 3 or 4 other games that we didn't know about. We didn't know was in production. And that way, that would solidify Sony as in having their whole 2 to 3 year benchmark of games. That's they've basically showed the future of where this company is going, where gaming is going, and that's just going to add on top of all the other games that we named. Death Stranding, that's another game. We're going to definitely see some gameplay from that. And guys, keep in mind, we're going to start seeing some actual release dates for some of this stuff. I'm not saying we're going to see 100% release dates from everything, but we do know at least 2 or 3 of these big major games are in the pipeline to come out this year. Gran Turismo Sport is definitely dropping this summer. That's a game that I'm anticipating. Again, there's just so many games, whether it's VR, non-VR, whether it's, shooter, racer, action RPG, JRPG, whatever it is, there's just a variety for anybody. And I think Sony's going to keep that going. I think they have that card, and they have something to offer everybody. From that standpoint, if I guarantee you, if you see Sony's press conference, once they turn the lights on, if you see that orchestra there, you know what's about to go down. You already know it's about to go down.
I think they're gonna open with The Last of Us 2. Either they're gonna open or close. Yeah.
I think they're gonna close it with him.
I think you got to close with that because you have to send people. You have to send people away like just falling out like they did last year, like they did with PSX. I think most of us can agree we don't. It's going to be hard for Sony to outdo themselves from what they did with PSX. I think the PSX last year was the perfect showcase. It really outdid E3 to me, but
I think they're going to do it with this one. I think this one right here, like I said, I think it's going to be their best E3. And I'm just I don't know how y'all feel about this, but I'm so glad that Sony's off that indie kick, man. Like, I like indies. I enjoy them. I'll play them. They're like icing on the cake or sprinkles on the cake or whatever. Yeah. But I'm so glad that both of the companies are not spending so much time on indies and stuff like that. I want to see new big experiences. So
you know why they did that though?
I know because they didn't have no games. That's why.
Exactly. you got to have something. It's kind of like the Nintendo Switch now. You have to have something to sustain you until the big games are completed. Yeah. So Sony has created that. They started with the what's the racer soccer game?
Rocket League.
Rocket League. They started with that. That was like the big boom. Everybody was laughing about indie games, and all of a sudden that game comes out. Now everybody's doing it, and then from there you have all these indie games, and then you got just all these different games that you never know which one of those games can become a huge success.
Yeah, that's true.
But you know what? There was a developer on Twitter. He actually said like he loves the way. And this is an indie dev, by the way. He said he loves the way Sony are treating like him and his company. They treat his games like they're AAAs, while Microsoft they kind of like treat it like it's anything. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they were doing like we just talked about it. The reason why they were doing that is because they know that they didn't have any games.
No, but this was recent. No, this was recent. This was this week.
Okay.
This week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This week.
Yeah.
So
I stand corrected then.
I was mind blown by that.
Well, Hideo Kojima had already said that many companies had offered him unlimited amount of money in his own studio and everything, from Microsoft to Nintendo to other studios. They've all tried to get him. But
what game is this?
No, Hideo Kojima.
Oh, Hideo Kojima. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Hideo Kojima.
He said what Sony did was flew him around. They took him around to every one of their studios, every single studio they had, the ones in London, Japan, Europe, everywhere, and said you can have and you can borrow any person in any engine or whatever you need. Go build your own studio, spend as much time, as much resources you need, and have at it. We're not going to bother you. And he said that was the most impressive thing that he's seen because everybody else was focused on how quickly you think you can get this game out. And if you know Kojima, this guy doesn't deliver a game overnight. I mean, he takes years.
I love Kojima, but he full of shit too.
He's Stanley Kubrick of video games.
He full of shit, man. He was bought. Microsoft bought his ass too. So he full of shit. But anyway, I love him.
Oh man, that's a good one. Hey Craig, you back, man?
I have arrived back from I don't know if it's like that show Strange Days, the Upside Down. I don't know what is going on over here. I survived it though. I got back through the wall, so
you can tell the truth, Craig. You had to go to the liquor store real quick, get you some more of that burger.
I wish that's what it was. Y'all wish that's what it was. Nah, I do need kind of to go. I am off, I think, like Thursday or something. But
okay.
But no, I think Sony opens up with Days Gone. I think they follow with a DLC for Horizon. I think that they will show They got so much to show. Yeah, Detroit Become Human. I do agree with Andrew. They got to get out in front of that. That game, those screenshots look gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. But give me those 3 games. Give me another JRPG. You know, something kind of out of the blue. I don't think we're going to see Final Fantasy stuff. I heard that's in development hell right now. So yeah, I mean that's what I've heard.
I agree with you on that, man.
When they announced that PSX, all those retro games are bringing back.
Yeah, I
think we get some of that. Think we get a Crash trailer, a knack, because that's Mark Cerny's game, and Mark Cerny built the PlayStation. So I think they close out like Wolf saying with some with the multi-plat games, and I think we get a release date. I think they close with Spider-Man with a release date, with a release date on Spider-Man. So,
can I ask this question? Do you guys think that since Sony has the marketing deal to Red Dead 2, do you think Sony worked out a deal with Red Dead to delay their game a couple of months so they can drop one of their big major games around that time?
I mean, you don't walk into Rockstar that's printing money with Grand Theft Auto. They could probably build their own country.
True.
With as much money as Grand Theft Auto 5 is made. And it's that Rockstar probably say, hey, look, it's not going to be ready gameplay. Because you know how Rockstar is. They'll show a trailer, they'll show gameplay. So, and I'm hoping against hope that at the EA presser, they announced some Mass Effect DLC, the Quarian DLC that I was going toe-to-toe with somebody today that we're not going to get. But he's right. I hope that it comes out because I think Mass Effect is done. My Normandy has docked. I'm sad about it. Hate that it goes out like this. But Disney, I'm pretty sure, called them and said, look, you better get our game right. Their Star Wars Battlefront game. Their shit better be right or else. So, yeah. But, yeah. Did you talk about this, Savage? I know I was stuck in the Upside Down. So – about what Sony's going to bring?
The one was maybe what was mentioned already is maybe Kingdom Hearts 3 and Hellblade.
I forgot about that. Yeah. You know, they still have development diaries and stuff every month on that game, and yet we haven't. I don't know where the hell that game is.
When they gonna finish?
I know.
They said as far as Ninja came out and said it was coming out in 2017, right?
They said that last year, yeah, but you know it's been quiet. But they do have the monthly development diaries, and I watch those videos and stuff. So I'm glad it's still on the table, and it is an exclusive. So
I was gonna go back real quick with Grand Theft Auto, not Grand Theft Auto, Rockstar's game, Red Dead Redemption. Like, I feel like this is a marketing ploy with them. They always delay their games, man. Like,
true, that's
true. They always announce shit super early. Well, not early. They always announce it, and then when it gets close to the game being released, they say, "Oh, it's being delayed" or whatever. It's cool because not it's cool, but it's okay because the end result is always good. But the motherfuckers, man, they always delay stuff like that. So we'll see. They get people excited for it and start looking into it and shit like that. And you see all these little random screenshots and fake screenshots of the game, and then they delay it. Like, come on,
exactly.
Man. So.
Yeah. Well, now, Jay, let me ask you, Jay, are you going to get a Scorpio day one? Oh, yeah. What do you? I want to up and down vote here. Scorpio more than $399. Cycle said $499. You said 500, right, Cycle?
Yeah, I said 500. Yeah.
I say 500 too.
Oh, $399. Or right after.
I say maybe 550 at most. The highest I would say.
That's a non-starter. Okay. That's a non-starter there.
Wolf said 550.
Yeah, he said 550.
Are you talking about the Scorpio price?
Yeah.
It'd be $500.
$500.
Yeah.
All right.
$499.
Andrew, what do you think?
I'm gonna say with all
I'm just saying, like,
customization
that's
they
the
talk about,
highest I would ever see it go. I think it's gonna be 500.
Okay.
This is the thing with Phil, right? When he says premium product, he wants you to think that, oh my God, it's going to be $600, $700. So then when he does announce 500, it makes it sound cheap. You understand what I'm saying? So that's his trick.
Well, he could have been like, was it Kaz when he told you need to go out and get a second job to afford it, like he said for the PlayStation.
Oh, that was bullshit.
No, but when
we saw that work, didn't we?
But like the way he says things about this thing, he's when he says $500, he's gonna make it sound like this is cheap.
Yeah, for what you get.
And it is compared to the OG regular vanilla Xbox One. It completely is.
Well, it's going to be Microsoft's premium product. I mean, it's not going to be the same price as the original Xbox, right?
This is like in the same line as the Elite Controller.
Elite Controller, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's
right.
That's the customer. That is the customer that it was built for those Elite Controllers.
Yeah. He said that though. Phil said that himself. But all these fanboys on Twitter and YouTube claiming that it's $399, just like they had Vega and Ryzen in it. So I think
those who play
day with it was Digital, and they said it was about why Microsoft's making Scorpio. And at the end of it, it says that Aaron Greenberg said that this is a premium user, and it's going to be marketed at that price.
Like
that thing could possibly be
and they put right underneath that, or Richard Ledbetter put right underneath that says, so he kind of, in a sense, confirmed it will be more expensive than the Pro.
Yeah,
it has more in there. It has to be more expensive. You got a small chip they showed that got 2,400 little puncture holes in the back. You got the vapor air cooling, DX12 baked in. I wouldn't be surprised this thing's $600.
It's a custom motherboard in a sense. Every motherboard's in a sense a custom motherboard and custom cooling. So yeah.
It literally shares nothing with the Xbox One.
You know what I noticed? That the Xbox fanboys are underpricing it, and the PlayStation fanboys are overpricing it. That's
messed up. That's messed up.
I'm being realistic. No.
That's true. That's true. I agree. I agree.
500 is realistic. I ain't overpricing it, man.
I would say 500. I'm just saying, like, the highest I would see it, like, the highest would be 550. I don't think it would be higher than 550.
I'm not talking about anybody on this podcast. I'm just saying in general.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm
saying, yeah. And also, I don't know if it was your podcast, maybe unrelated, but I don't know if this is your podcast, Craig, or if it was One Stop's podcast. But we bet. I ain't forgot about that motherfucking bet either. We bet each other a full game. He said it's going to be about $800.
Oh no!
Right? So, I'm ready for my goddamn game though. I'm ready for it.
But you know what, Cycle? That's before we found out the specs that was in it. That's before we find out about that. So yeah, you probably
don't change. The bet don't change. Goddamn.
Yeah,
I think I said 5.
I hear you.
5 back then, but yeah, it's funny.
I have Craig. Back to your original question. I have $500 for the Scorpio. But they're gonna have to come and get my money, man. They can't just drop the console and expect me to go out day one like I did with the Xbox One.
So what's gonna make you go get it?
To tell you the truth, the only thing right now that I'm even interested in for the Scorpio is State of Decay 2. I love State of Decay 1. I bought it on 360. I bought it on the Xbox One. I tell everybody, even though it's one of the ugliest games graphically that you can get, the gameplay was solid and it kept me interested. That is a game I'm looking forward to. Other than that, I don't know because I don't buy games specifically for the multiplayer. If I'm gonna buy this console, I have to be able to play more than just the multiplats on it. I have a PC for 4K 60 if I really wanted it.
Yeah,
I have so that's why the Pro kind of. It does it for me. I'm not a stickler. Give me 60 frames or give me death. As long as the game look good and it runs good, I'm okay. So, but I do want to get back into the Xbox ecosystem. I think I told you guys I took my Xbox One S, I sold it and bought me some Switch games because there was just
You said you bought games for the Switch?
Yes.
I thought you only had one.
No, dude, I have like freaking
I'm
15
fucking with
games.
you, man.
I know you messing with me. But I know you messing with me. But again, once the Scorpio come, I know that I should be able to load my account back on and have access to all my old games, so I'm not missing out on anything. It's not like any good games have dropped since then. I mean, we don't even know when the next game gonna drop. So
yeah, the reason why I asked because I'm in the same boat. Like I don't even know if I'm gonna pick it up. I'm probably not gonna pick it up day one because number one, I don't have a 4K TV yet, and number two, I don't see the need yet. Like they're gonna have to show me why I should get it, why I should pick it up. You know, the tech head of me, you know, I want to pick it up day one, but I got so much shit, so many other things I want to do, and so many other things I want to buy. They're gonna have to show me why I should pick it up. You know what I'm saying? Other than the 4K, why should I do it? So,
and you know what else people should be thinking about? Like a lot, as far as me, I have a Pro and I have a VR, so that's a lot of money I have to spend on games there.
Yeah,
I could get a Scorpio day one, but I'm thinking that the games might just slightly look a little bit better. I mean, because a lot of games on the Pro look great now. I'd rather take that money and get me another gaming monitor that's in 4K with HDR, so I can have even a better looking 4K display than just throw $500 on a Scorpio. When I'm out, if I want a 4K HDR monitor, that's gonna be $1,500 anyway. So I'm gonna get one. Yeah, for a 4K HDR monitor, it looks better than the TVs. And because of the input lag, you got 1 millisecond or 4 millisecond input lag. So
you know,
I'm gonna
keep it real, right? For me to buy a Scorpio, and I don't even mind. I'll actually support it. You know what I'm saying? But they need to show me at least 6 exclusives I cannot play anywhere else.
That's not going to
happen.
I'm
interested in.
Cycle's already telling you it's not gonna happen.
And I ain't talking about what we already know about. I ain't talking about State of Decay, Crackdown, Sea of Thieves. Cuphead. I ain't talking about any of that. I'm talking about 6 new games. This is the problem with Microsoft. They don't let us know what we have coming. Besides, like the Crackdown or whatever, they let us know 3 years ahead of time. You know, Sony gets shitted on all the time for saying, for showing games that maybe 2 years off, maybe even 3 years off or whatever. But, Microsoft do the same thing, but because they don't do enough of it. You got to keep people hyped that, hey, you know what? I know in 2018 and 19, I'm going to get this. Do you know what I'm saying? Sony are the ones that they're basically killing when it comes to mindshare. Everyone's talking about Sony. Everyone's talking about what they have coming within the next 2 to 3 years.
That's what they were doing for the first year of Sony.
What do Xbox have coming in the next 2 to 3 years? We don't know. Are we going to find out E3? Maybe. But we'll just have to wait and see it until then. But so far, the way it stands right now, it doesn't look like they have much coming, man.
This is the kind of shit I be talking. Like, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about. Like, man, okay.
We want to believe.
I just say for me, I don't care to see things that are 2-3 years away. I really don't, because so much. I know. I'm just saying for me. I understand you want to see that because you want to know what's coming. You want to know what you invested into is, you know what I'm saying, is right. I get that. For me, same thing with trailers. I don't give a fuck about a CG trailer. I want to see what the game actually looks like. I don't care about you flashing The Last of Us across the screen or flashing Halo across the screen.
Cycle. Let me ask you a question though. Here's the thing. This is where perception comes into play, right? Yeah. If Microsoft show at this C3 what they have coming this year and maybe